Hey people. So I'm recording this on Thursday, the 7th of November, which is 2 days after the US election, at which Trump appears to have got a second term. It's not appears, he definitely has. The only things in doubt now are the Senate and the House. And I'm a Scot living in England. I don't live in the US, but I am well aware that what happens in the US has implications for everywhere in the world, probably more than any other nation. So I wrote a blog and was in the process of putting it up on the website when we realized that actually most of what we do is audio and video. And so it would be a better idea to do it like this. So here we go. Say what you think of this. It's an opening for conversation. It's not a finite thing. It occurs to me now that we are at an inflection point in the weird world. That's weird as in Western, educated, industrial, rich, and at least notionally still democratic world that has up until now really successfully been destroying the ecosphere. We are a trauma culture. We've been a trauma culture for at least 10,000 years. We are, in Bill Plotkin's words, locked in perpetual early adolescence, and all of our power structures hinge around this. Much as I loved everything that Harris was and did, it wasn't really going to create total systemic change. It wasn't even remotely going to create total systemic change. What's happened since Tuesday is that a significant number of us now see what has been clear to probably a minority of us for quite a long time. The system is not broken. It is doing what it was always designed to do, which is to keep power in the hands of a very few old white men. Some of them are not quite so old anymore because you can get very rich younger, but fundamentally, it's maintaining power in the hands of the few. What is absolutely clear now, I think, to almost everybody, is that this system is not fit for purpose. If that purpose is the survival of complex life on the planet, if it's the flourishing of the human and the more than human worlds as an indivisible part of a flourishing and vibrant and thriving web of life, we need a new system. The old system is dying. The old paradigm is flailing around in its death throes, and that's what's quite so horrible to watch. This realization has landed now not with the half of the US population that solves its problems with semi-automatic rifles, but with those of us who want an equitable world, a just world, a world of a thriving human population within a thriving biosphere. And we believe this is possible. And we want ways to connect to each other, to conciliate. A lot of the stuff that I was seeing ahead of the election, amongst those of us who thought Harris was going to win, was how do we reach out? How do we connect? How do we make it okay for this to be the case? By contrast, I saw a screenshot of a tweet from Nick Fuentes saying, "Your body's my decision now and forever." And we have to think about the level of basic fundamental trauma that allows anyone to live in a world where not only is that a possible thing, but it's what they want. How damaged do you have to be for that to be a good thing? So I see conciliation, coherence, compassion, finding the courage and confidence and creative curiosity to move forward as the goal. I don't believe that we wait 4 years for another election, or in the UK, that we work towards the next election here. It doesn't mean we don't have to, but I would be really surprised if there is a free and fair election in the US at any time in our lifetimes. And I suspect that the one that's coming up in the UK in about 5 years' time is unlikely to be either of those things. So what else do we do? And the answer to that is what I've been writing about and saying for quite a while. So this is not an I told you so moment. It's just a, hey guys, let's get everyone on board with this now. We need a whole new system predicated on new and better values. We need to find our connectedness to the web apply, that bone-deep sense of coherence, of interbecoming, of inalienable interconnection. There is a physical distinction between me and you, between me and the hill, between me and the red kites, between me and the AI that generates half of this stuff. But there are also indivisible ways within which we connect. We are all part of a living biosphere now. Even, and I completely conceive this is contentious, the AI that is a product of our consciousness. Let's leave that for another conversation. Just us as living parts of the living world. We need to know this now, bone deep in the core of our tissues, that this is who we are, and that help is available, and that we need to ask for that help. That trying to figure out what to do on our own is not, and never really has been, and certainly will not be, a constructive way forward. We need to ask for help. We need to learn how to hear that help. We need to bring it into being. So this is the challenge now. Facing this challenge is going to require everything that we've got. And I think that's clear too now. As we see the crumbling of democracy, as we see the old world fading, the sooner we can let go of wanting it to go back like it was, the sooner we can move on and build something new. And I can feel that. I can feel it in myself. I wanted Harris to win because I wanted that sense of everything being nice and fluffy and the good side won and everything's going to be slightly less bad for another 4 years. And the bombs would have continued to fall, and the missiles would have continued to be fired, and the fracking would have continued to suck whatever's left of fossil fuels out of the earth. And we'd have still, or I would have still have felt it was somehow slightly better than otherwise, which would have been a mirage. So we are in the middle of a system that is a self-terminating algorithm. It cannot continue. This is what gives me hope in the face of Steve Bannon's concepts of a 10,000-year Reich. Integral to that is a denial of the reality that we're in climate and ecological breakdown. And last time I looked, biophysical realities were always going to win out over ideologies. And the more you deny it, the less chance you have of doing anything about it. So those of us not in denial, the old system is gone. We need to build a new one. We need to connect. And we need to do it now. Nothing else matters. Nothing. Find what's yours to do and do it. Don't play the games of the old system if you can possibly avoid it. And yes, clearly, we do still have mortgages to pay and bills and we need to eat. But we don't have to engage in everything else of the old system. What is it that we can use and repurpose? What is it that we can use to help us build our communities of place and purpose and passion? What are those communities? Who matters most to us? Who makes our hearts sing? Where is that intersecting point where our heart's greatest joy meets the world's greatest need? And we may not know what the world's greatest need is until we settle and ask the web and hear the answers. And that bit is hard. That's the bit that means we have let go of all our ego projections of our hopes and our fears and what we would like the world to tell us, and we're hearing what's actually there. And I am completely aware that that's not easy. I've been doing this work for over 40 years, and I still get lost in my own ego projections. But the real stuff comes through sometimes, and we just have to be patient sometimes. And just now feels like it's really, really urgent, and being patient is hard. But it's worth it, and it's essential. So that's it, really. Find what's yours to do. Do it. Do it with all of your heart. Connect to other people who are doing the same with all of their heart. If we can find a tipping point of people who have genuine agency, people who have stepped beyond the see, want, take, adolescent urge for immediate gratification and for stuff to try and fill the gaping void inside, we can step beyond that to an adulthood of agency and connection to each other and ourselves and the web of life. Then we can be part of building the new paradigm. And truly, there is no other option now. So let's all do it. See how we can do it best. Make it happen. And let's see where the world goes, eh? Because whatever else we know, it won't be like it used to be. And it definitely won't be like we thought it might have been if the result had been different on Tuesday. On you go. Give it a try. What's the best that could happen? The best is that we leave to those who come after us something that we are proud of, and they look back on us with gratitude and pride. And I think that's worth going for. Go for it.